The night was quiet on Earth's outer colony Sector 9. Stars blinked above like tiny eyes in the sky. Most people were asleep, but Liam, a 17-year-old farm boy, sat awake by his bedroom window. He didn't sleep much these days. His father was working off-planet, his mother was sick. Liam often stayed up thinking about life, space, and strange dreams he couldn't explain. Suddenly the ground shook. A loud ripping sound tore through the sky. Liam jumped up and looked out the window. A silver light streaked across the sky, heading straight for the forest behind his family's farm. Boom, the crash lit up the night, trees burned and birds screamed. Liam didn't think. He grabbed his jacket, a flashlight, and ran toward the smoke. The forest was thick and dark, but Liam knew the path well. As he moved closer, the air smelled like burnt metal. Strange blue sparks flew from behind the trees. Liam slowed down, his heart beating fast. Then he saw it, a strange metal pod, half buried in the dirt, smoking and hissing. It didn't look like any Earth ship he'd seen in history videos. It was smooth, silver, and had glowing lines running along the sides. Alien technology. Liam stepped closer. "Hello?" he said, his voice shaky. No answer. He touched the side of the pod. It was hot. Suddenly, part of it hissed open with a sharp click. A door slid aside, revealing a small space inside. There was someone there, a girl, but not human. She had glowing purple eyes, silver blue skin, and strange metal implants running along her arms and neck. She was breathing, but barely. Her suit was torn, and her implants were sparking like broken wires. Her face looked young, maybe his age. Her eyes opened slightly. She saw Liam. She tried to speak, but no sound came out. Liam froze. He didn't know what to do, but then he saw her hand bleeding and trembling. She reached toward him, not to attack, but to ask for help. Something in Liam moved. He stepped forward, took her hand gently, and whispered, "I won't hurt you, I promise." She stared at him for a long second, then her eyes rolled back and she fainted. Liam knew he couldn't leave her there. The military patrolled Sector 9. If they found her, they'd lock her up or worse. People feared aliens, they didn't understand them. And this girl, she looked too hurt to fight back. With effort, Liam pulled her out of the pod. She was light like air. He wrapped his jacket around her and began walking back through the forest, step by step, making sure no one saw him. The barn behind his house was old but quiet. He laid her on soft hay, placed a blanket over her, and turned on a small heater. She shivered in her sleep, her implants still sparking. Liam looked at her. She was strange yet peaceful. She didn't look dangerous. She looked scared, lost. As he reached to check her pulse, her hand shot up and grabbed his wrist tightly. Her eyes opened wide, but instead of attacking, something happened. Liam's mind suddenly filled with images, explosions, ships flying through black space, screams, bright machines forcing metal into skin, a young alien girl crying, her eyes full of fear, soldiers, war, chains. It was like a movie flashing in his brain. Then the images stopped. Her hand let go. Liam fell back, gasping. What was that?" She looked at him with tired eyes and whispered the first word she ever said in English. "Help." Back in the forest, a small red light blinked under a rock near the crash site. A tracking beacon had survived the impact, and it was sending a signal to space. Something or someone was coming, but Liam didn't know that yet. He only knew one thing: an alien girl with broken implants had fallen from the sky, and he was the only one who could help her. Morning sunlight slipped through the cracks in the old wooden barn, painting long golden lines across the dusty floor. Birds sang outside, but inside everything was still, quiet, suspended in time. Liam hadn't slept all night. He sat on a wooden crate staring at the strange girl who lay in the hay wrapped in two thick blankets. Her body shimmered faintly under the morning light like metal and moonlight mixed together. The implants on her arms had stopped sparking, but her breathing was still uneven. Every few minutes her eyes twitched like she was fighting something inside her mind. A memory, a command, a war. Liam rubbed his tired eyes. He had no idea what he was doing, but he knew he couldn't leave her alone, not now. He stood and walked over to her slowly. "Can you hear me?" he whispered. Her eyes opened, glowing purple, alert, scanning. For a moment she stared at him like he was a stranger again, but then her gaze softened, like she remembered what happened in the forest. The crash, the touch, the images she had shown him. She sat up weakly, her silver blue skin glinting. The implants along her collarbone flickered like broken circuits trying to restart. "You're safe," Liam said quickly. "I brought you here, my barn. My house is over there, but I didn't want anyone to see you." She looked around, eyes narrowing at the dusty tools, rusted tractors, and hanging ropes. Then suddenly she flinched. A soft beep came from her neck implant, red light, a warning. She clutched her head, groaning, shaking like something was trying to take over her body. Hey, it's okay." Liam knelt down beside her. "What's happening?" Her mouth opened wide, but no scream came out. Her hands clammed against her chest. The implant near her heart pulsed fast, furious. Without thinking, Liam grabbed a toolbox nearby and searched for something, anything to help: wires, pliers, even old circuit boards. He didn't know how her tech worked, but he had built small robots before. He knew a fried system when he saw one. I need to open it, he muttered. I'm sorry, just stay with me. He carefully lifted the small panel near her shoulder. It opened like metal skin. Inside, tangled wires sparked. Red lights blinked. It looked like a living machine trying to destroy itself. He reached in and disconnected 2 wires. The blinking stopped. She gasped and fell back, her body limp. For a few seconds, Liam thought he had killed her, but then her chest rose slowly, deeply, and her eyes opened again. But this time they weren't cold, they were calm, soft. You stopped it, she whispered. Her voice was clearer now, more human. Liam let out a breath he didn't realize he was holding. Yeah, I guess I did. She sat up slower this time and looked at him with something close to wonder. You're not a soldier, she said. No, I'm just me, Liam. Liam, she repeated it softly. He smiled, and you. She hesitated, then pointed to her chest. Silura. A name's a beginnings. Liam grabbed an old water bottle and handed it to her. She stared at it, confused, then copied him as he drank from his own. She tasted the water, eyes wide, like she'd never had anything so simple and clean. She ate dry bread next, unsure at first, then fast, like she hadn't eaten in days. She touched a small mirror hanging on the barn post. Her reflection made her pause. My face is changing, she whispered. What do you mean? My implants are weaker, the code is breaking. Liam tilted his head. Is that bad? She didn't answer for a long time. Then she looked up at him and said, It means I'm free, the word heavy on her tongue. But freedom came with danger. Liam knew the military would be searching the crash site by now. He turned on a small tablet and opened a news app. The headline read, Unidentified object crashes in Sector 9, Investigation UNDRWAY. Beneath it, a picture of soldiers standing near a smoking crater. Damns, Liam muttered. She moved closer and looked over his shoulder, her eyes narrowed. They will come for me. Who on earth are soldiers? No, she said, them. And her voice trembled. Liam stood, walked to the barn door and peeked outside. The fields were quiet. His mother was still asleep inside. For now, everything was still, but something told him this peace would not last. He turned to her again. Why were you running? He asked softly. She looked down at her hands. The implants sparked one last time and then faded. I disobeyed. I broke command. They wanted me to kill. I refused. So they sent you here? No, she said. I crashed. I didn't mean to come to this planet. I just needed somewhere safe. You found it, Liam said, giving her a small smile. You're safe here. She looked at him again, long, deep. No, she whispered, you made me safe. But outside in the shadow of the trees, something beeped quietly. A drone, small, black, watching, recording. Then it flew away back toward the military base. They had found her and time was running out. Rain fell that night. It wasn't heavy, just a soft tapping on the barn roof like the world was whispering a warning. Liam sat by the oil lamp, watching the strange patterns of water sliding down the wooden planks. His eyes were tired, but his mind was racing. Across from him, Solara lay still but awake, her eyes half closed, glowing softly in the dark. The implants on her arms had stopped flashing, but he could still see faint red lines pulsing under her skin like warning signs buried deep inside her body. She was healing, but something inside her was not right. Liam could feel it. He looked down at the makeshift notebook he had been keeping, sketches of her implant layout, notes from what she had told him, and guesses about alien tech. Most of it didn't make sense. Earth didn't have anything close to this. This was living metal, technology that felt pain, circuits that cried. I don't think these implants were made to help you, Liam said softly. Solara opened her eyes. They weren't. She sat up slowly, brushing back her white-blue hair. They were made to own me. Her voice was sharper tonight, stronger, not like before. But her words were heavy, like each one came from a deep, painful place. Liam Lyndon owned you, what do you mean? Solara pulled her sleeve up and showed him the implant on her wrist. It was small but glowing again, red, angry. This, she said, is a location tracker. It sends my position every 4 hours to a mothership orbiting my galaxy. Liam's heart jumped, so they know where you are. Not yet, she replied. The crash scrambled my signal, but when it resets, they'll come. He felt a cold chill creep up his spine. She pointed to another implant just below her neck. This one was shaped like a star, etched into her skin like it was burned there. This is the obedience chip, she said. Liam frowned. What does it do? It makes me follow orders, she said, looking away, even when I don't want to. He stared at it, horrified. You mean they control your mind? She nodded slowly. I used to follow every command. I didn't question. I was part of a unit called the Heartless Corps. We were trained not to feel, just obey. But you broke free, Liam whispered. How? Solara touched her chest. I don't know, one day in battle, something inside me snapped. I refused an order. I didn't want to kill a child. I heard screaming and I stopped. I hesitated. She looked up at Liam with trembling hands. That was enough. They called me contaminated. They tried to shut me down. You means like kills you? No, she whispered. Worse, they tried to reset my heart. Liam's eyebrows pulled together. Your heart. Solara tapped the implant near her chest. It's not real, it's artificial. It runs on emotion signals. If I feel something they consider wrong, like kindness, hesitation, fear, or love, it sends a kill switch. Liam stared in silence. His chest felt tight. That's horrible. It was normal to me, Solara said, staring at the barn ceiling, until I crashed here. Until you. Liam didn't know what to say. For a long time, there was only the sound of rain. Then he stood, grabbed his old toolkit, and sat next to her. I want to help, he said. She blinked. You can't remove them. They're bound to my nervous system. I'm not removing them, Liam said, smiling slightly. I'm rewiring them. Solara tilted her head. Why? Because kindness, he said, shouldn't be a crime. She looked at him for a moment longer than usual, then nodded. The next hour was careful and silent. Liam worked slowly, gently opening the access board behind her ear with a tool he built for farm drones. The circuits were complicated. Alien symbols glowed with each movement. The implant was like a maze. One wrong move could stop her heart forever. He found one wire glowing orange. He traced it and noticed something strange. Solara, he said, there's a second chip inside. She turned sharply. Where? Buried under the heart implant. It's small, but it's blinking. She reached out and touched his hand. Can you describe the blink? Short, long. She froze, her eyes widened. That's the heartbeat override, she whispered. Liam's eyes met hers. What does it mean? It means I have 5 days before my body shuts down. They both sat in stunned silence. Outside, the rain grew louder. Inside, the girl with broken implants looked like she was trying not to cry. I didn't want to die on your planet, she whispered. I just wanted a second chance. You're not going to die, Liam said firmly. I won't let that happen. Solara looked at him, her face soft, confused. You don't even know me, she said. Liam reached out and gently touched the side of her head where the implant lines flowed. Maybe not, he said, but I know someone who needs help, and that's all I need to know. Suddenly, the barn lights flickered. Liam looked up. That's not normal. A second later, his tablet beeped. Incoming signal DETCTED. He clicked it open. An image popped up, a black drone hovering over the forest. It had infrared scanners. It was scanning for life forms. Liam's blood ran cold. They found us. Solara stood slowly, fire in her eyes. Then we run. Part 4, Heart Code Activation. Dark clouds swallowed the sky above Sector 9 as Liam and Solara ran across the fields behind the barn. The wet grass slapped their legs, and the cold wind howled through the trees like a warning. Behind them in the distance, a sharp whirring noise echoed. It wasn't thunder, it was a drone swarm, and they were closing in. Liam held tightly to the small metal box he had grabbed from the barn, a signal jammer. It was old, barely working, but maybe enough to give them time. Solara ran beside him, fast and silent, even though her implants were flickering red again. Her body was still rejecting commands, but something new had begun to grow inside her, something that had no place in her old world: emotion. They reached the edge of the forest and ducked under the tall trees. Rain dripped from the leaves like cold tears. They stopped to catch their breath behind a thick tree trunk, and for the first time in hours, Liam saw her hand shaking. You okay? He whispered. Solara nodded quickly, but her face said something else. She looked afraid. I can feel it, she said softly. The kill code, it's fighting me from inside. Liam pulled off his jacket and wrapped it around her. You said 5 days, right? Maybe less, she whispered. The more emotion I feel, the faster it breaks me. He stared at her, heart pounding. Then why aren't you fighting it? She looked up at him, rain dripping from her silver blue lashes. Because when I'm with you, I feel alive. Liam didn't know what to say. He had never heard anything like that before from anyone, let alone from an alien whose heart was more machine than muscle. He took a slow breath. Then maybe we don't stop the emotion. Maybe we reprogram the heart instead. She blinked. That's impossible. Not if it's listening to your failings, Liam said. What if we speak in a language it understands? She stared at him like he had said something sacred. What language is that? Liam smiled. Kindness. They made it to an old power station deep in the forest. It hadn't worked in years, but Liam had used it before to charge old farm bots. The place was covered in vines, rusted panels, and broken screens. Inside, it smelled like dust and forgotten machines. Liam cleared a space near a power console and laid out his tools. Solara sat on the floor, weak but ready. Her chest implant was blinking faster now. Short, short, long, short, the override signal. Okay, Liam said. If this works, your implant will stop listening to the kill code. And if it doesn't, she asked. He swallowed, then your heart stops. She gave him a sad smile, then let's make it count. For the next hour, Liam worked quietly, connecting his tablet to her chest port. Alien code filled the screen, lines and lines of strange symbols, but in the middle of the chaos, one word kept repeating, HEARTCOD. What is that? Liam asked. Solara's voice was soft. It's the final layer of protection, the deepest code inside me. It listens to how I feel, but no one has ever activated it before. Why? Because no one ever showed me how to feel. Liam looked at her, really looked. Her face was soft now, no longer sharp like a soldier's. Her eyes didn't burn with anger anymore, they shimmered with something else, hope. He placed a hand gently over her chest. Her skin was cold, but under it a faint rhythm pulsed, not just electricity, a heartbeat. Then let's teach it, he said. He began uploading a new pattern into the chip. He didn't know if it would work, but it was based on the sounds of a human heartbeat, the rhythm of life, the sound of music, laughter, a baby's cry, a hug, a moment of silence shared between two people who didn't need words. He called the file Human Emotion Sample. When he hit enter, the console glowed. Solara gasped. Her body lit up, not red but blue. The implants around her chest, neck, and arms pulsed with light. Her eyes turned wide, her spine arched, and then suddenly everything stopped, complete silence, no beeping, no sparks. Liam rushed forward, Solara, but she wasn't unconscious. She was staring at him and smiling. I can feel everything, she whispered. I don't know how, but your kindness rewrote me. Liam felt tears rise in his eyes. The heart code, it listened to you. She placed her hand over her chest. My heart is mine now. But the moment didn't last. A sudden explosion ripped through the front of the power station. A bounty hunter had arrived. He was tall, covered in dark metal armor, his helmet glowing red. He stepped into the room like a storm, carrying a plasma rifle pointed straight at them. Subject X-13, he growled. You will return or be erased. Liam stepped in front of her, shaking with fear. You'll have to go through me. The bounty hunter didn't hesitate, he fired. But before the blast could reach Liam, a wall of blue light exploded from behind him. It was Solara. Her implants had formed a shield like wings of light protecting him. She stood up, eyes glowing. I am not X-13 anymore, she said. My name is Solara, and she launched forward. Part 5, Hunter vs. Human. The blue shield around Liam shimmered like a wall of light, humming with alien energy. The bounty hunter's blast hit it but didn't break it. Instead, it bent around the shield and vanished into the walls of the power station with a loud crack of sizzling sparks. Liam dropped to his knees, eyes wide. Solara was standing over him, but she wasn't the same girl from before. She was glowing. Her implants, once broken and angry, now pulsed with bright blue veins of light that moved with the rhythm of her own heartbeat. Her spine was straighter, her face calmer. Her body no longer moved like a puppet controlled by wires. It moved like it belonged to her. The bounty hunter took one heavy step forward. His voice was cold, robotic, layered with hatred. You should not be able to override the code, he said. Your heart was designed for obedience. Solara's voice was soft, but every word carried weight. You programmed my body, she said, but you never owned my soul. The bounty hunter raised his plasma cannon again. Then I'll destroy both, and he fired. This time, Solara didn't block it. She caught it with one bare hand. She grabbed the energy bolt midair and crushed it into sparks. Her fingers glowed for a moment, absorbing the heat. She didn't flinch, didn't move. Her eyes, glowing purple and blue, locked onto the hunter like a storm rising from calm water. You can't hurt me anymore, she said quietly. Liam slowly stood behind her. How are you doing this? She looked back at him and smiled. You showed me what real strength feels like. He wanted to say more, but the bounty hunter suddenly launched himself forward with a roar, firing again faster, blast after blast. The walls shook, metal crumbled, screens shattered. But Solara moved like water and lightning combined. She spun, bent, and danced between the shots, her arms forming shimmering shields with every motion. Her implants shifted, alive and intelligent, wrapping around her wrists like bracelets of light. The bounty hunter tried to grab her. She flipped backward and kicked him square in the chest, sending him flying into the wall. It cracked behind him. "Who sent you?" she shouted. The hunter stood slowly. A piece of his helmet broke off, revealing part of a scarred face underneath, half human, half machine. "I was once like you," he growled, "until I understood that kindness is weakness." Solara's face changed, not in anger and pity. "Then you were never free," she said. The hunter screamed and charged again. This time he got close. They fought hand to hand, metal against metal. Sparks lit up the room with every punch, every block. It was like thunder made flesh, but something was different. Solara wasn't just fighting to survive, she was fighting to protect. Behind her, Liam worked quickly on the signal jammer. The hunter had called for backup, that much was clear. A green light flashed on the hunter's belt earlier. Liam needed to block the signal before more came. "I just need 1 minute," Liam shouted. Solara nodded through the chaos. "You'll get it." The hunter landed a punch to her side. She fell to one knee, her shoulder implant sparked. "See," the hunter hissed, "you're breaking again." But Solara looked up with calm, glowing eyes. "No, I'm growing." She pressed her palm to the ground. The light from her implants spread out in a circle, a pulse wave. It hit the hunter like a silent explosion, throwing him back against the far wall. He dropped his weapon. Solara walked toward him step by step. "You think kindness is weakness," she said, "but kindness is what made me more than a machine. Kindness gave me something you'll never understand." She raised her hand. "A choice." Liam yelled, "It's done," the signal's blocked. Solara turned, smiling, but the hunter wasn't finished. With his last strength, he pulled a small detonator from his armor. "If I can't complete the mission," he coughed, "then no one leaves." He pressed it. A countdown began to blink across his chest. 10-9. Liam's eyes went wide. "It's a bomb." Solara didn't hesitate. She ran toward the hunter, slammed her hand into his chest plate, and released a surge of blue light so strong it shattered the armor. She grabbed the core and yanked it out, throwing it into the broken console. Boom! The explosion rocked the station. Windows shattered, fire sparked, but the core had detonated far enough away. Solara dropped to the ground. Liam ran to her, coughing through smoke. "Solara." She was hurt, her arms were scorched, her implants faded from blue to silver. Her heart light blinked but stayed on. He lifted her gently. She looked up at him, weak but smiling. "You said kindness could rewire anything," he nodded, eyes full of tears. "And you proved it." The bounty hunter lay unconscious. The power station was ruined, but Solara was still breathing, and something had changed in her forever. They didn't know what would come next, but one thing was clear now: she wasn't just an alien with broken implants. She was a being with a free heart, and she had chosen to fight for it. The storm had passed, but the air still smelled like smoke and fire. The old power station was broken, half its walls crumbled, wires hanging like vines from a dying tree. Rainwater mixed with ash and formed small rivers across the floor. The roof had caved in where the explosion hit, letting the morning light shine in through jagged holes. In the center of the wreckage, Liam held Solara in his arms. She was still breathing, but just barely. Her eyes were closed and her body was limp. Her implants no longer glowed. The soft heartbeat light on her chest had dimmed to a quiet flicker. "Come on," Liam whispered, pressing his hand gently against her skin. "Don't give up now, you made it this far." She didn't respond. Liam laid her down gently on a dry patch of floor and opened his backpack. Inside, wires, tools, and scraps of old tech clanked together. He reached for his small solar battery pack, the one he had used to recharge farm drones. He attached the connectors to the implant port near her ribs and prayed silently. The charger hummed. Her chest light blinked once, then twice, then faded again. "No," he whispered, choking on his words. "Please." Tears filled his eyes. He had never believed in fate or miracles, but right now he would give anything for both. He bowed his head, his forehead touching hers, and whispered the only thing he could think of. "You're not alone anymore." Then it happened. Her hand moved, just a twitch but real. Liam gasped. "Solara." Her eyes opened slowly, but they weren't glowing with alien light. They were clear, a soft lavender, gentle like the sky at dawn. "I heard you," she whispered. "You're alive," Liam laughed, wiping his face with the sleeve of his jacket. "You scared me so bad, don't do that again." She smiled weakly. I didn't plan to. He helped her sit up. She looked down at her arms at the faded implants. It's strange, she said softly. They feel quiet like they've stopped fighting me. Maybe they're sleeping, he said. She nodded, or maybe listening. She placed her hand over her heart. Something's different. Liam leaned closer. What? I feel warm, not just in my body, in my thoughts. She looked around at the wreckage, the broken machines, the smashed bounty hunter armor in the corner. I was built to obey, she whispered, but today I chose to live. Liam sat beside her quiet. You're free now, he said. She turned to him. No, we're free. They rested for a while, watching the sky brighten through the holes in the roof. Birds flew over the treetops. The forest, once dangerous and dark, now looked peaceful. I want to understand more, Solera said after some time, about your world, about your people. Liam smiled. Then stay, we'll learn together. She looked down. But the others, they'll come for me again. Not if we show them who you really are, he said. She tilted her head. What do you mean? You're proof, Liam said, that even the most controlled mind can choose kindness, that even technology built for war can learn peace. She stared at him for a long time, then nodded slowly. I want to teach that, she said, if they'll listen. They will, Liam said, and he believed it. Later that day, Liam used his tablet to contact someone he never thought he'd call, his father, who worked at the Outer Space Research Council. He told him everything: the crash, the implants, the hunter, the override. At first, his father thought it was a joke, but when Solera leaned into the screen and said, I am not a threat. I am a student now, the man went silent. And for the first time in years, Liam saw a look of respect in his father's eyes. We'll be there soon, he said. By sunset, the council had arrived, scientists, engineers, even a few peace officers. No weapons drawn, no loud orders, just curiosity. They stepped into the broken station and saw her, this silver-blue girl with faded implants, standing with her hand in a human boy's. I know you fear me, Solera said softly, but I don't want to be feared. She reached into her chest and pulled out the last glowing chip, the one Liam had rewired. I want to give this back not as a weapon but as a message. She handed it to them. The scientists stared at the chip, eyes wide. This, one whispered, should not even be possible. It is, Liam said, because someone was brave enough to feel. They didn't arrest her, they didn't take her away, they listened. And slowly, day by day, Solera was accepted. She and Liam opened a small learning center at the edge of the forest, built from old tech, clean glass, and a solar roof. They called it the Heart Code Center. There, humans and friendly aliens came together to learn about empathy, connection, and second chances. Solera became more than a survivor, she became a teacher of peace. And Liam, he stood beside her every step of the way. One night, long after the stars had returned, Solera stood on the rooftop looking up. Liam joined her, hands in his jacket pockets. Thinking about home, he asked. She shook her head. No, I'm thinking about my heart. He smiled. What about it? She placed his hand over her chest. It's mine now, she said, and it beats for more than survival. Then she looked at him with eyes that once knew only code and pain. Now they knew warmth, love, and a future beyond the wires, a new future. The world did not change in one day, but sometimes one day is enough to begin a new story. Epilogue. 1 year later. Months had passed since the crash in Sector 9. The forest had grown green again. The power station, once a place of pain and battle, was now quiet, left untouched, vines crawling across its walls like nature forgiving man's mistakes. But a few miles away, on the edge of the farmland, stood something new, a tall glass dome, simple but shining. Solar panels lined its roof and trees were planted around it in a perfect circle. Inside, laughter echoed, not just from humans but from beings of many shapes, colors, and voices. This was the Heart Code Center, a place where people didn't come to fight but to understand. And at the heart of it stood Solera. She moved differently now, not like a soldier but like a free spirit. Her implants, once sharp and glowing red, were now calm lines of silver across her skin, no longer pulsing with control but with balance. Her voice was softer, warmer, and filled with emotion she once didn't know she could feel. She wasn't just an alien anymore. She was a symbol, proof that even technology made for control could learn love, that wires could be rewired not with tools but with kindness. And right beside her, every single day, stood Liam, still the same farm boy, still curious but now stronger, wiser. A friend not just to one alien girl, but to dozens of beings who arrived at the center every week looking for help, for answers, or just for peace. On a clear morning, the council returned, this time with an offer. "We want to share your story," one of them said, "across all colonies, across all species. People need to know what's possible." Solara looked at Liam. He nodded, smiling. "It's your choice." She took a deep breath and turned back to the council. "Then share this," she said. "Tell them I wasn't rescued by a weapon or a soldier. I was saved by a kind human boy who believed I could be more than what I was made for." The council nodded, recording her words. And within days, the message traveled far across moons, planets, and stars. Some rejected it, some doubted it, but many listened. They saw her standing before cameras, not as a weapon, but as a living being with tears in her eyes and hope in her heart. They watched her tell the story of how pain had taught her fear, but kindness had taught her freedom. A message like that doesn't fade, it spreads. Soon others came, an android who wanted to write poetry, a cloned soldier who refused to fight anymore, a Martian child who could speak to plants, a Venusian woman who never felt safe until now. They all came to the Heart Code Center, and Solara welcomed them one by one. She taught them what Liam taught her. You are not broken, you are rewritable. One night after the students had gone home, Solara and Liam sat beneath the stars. They said nothing at first. They didn't need to. The sky was filled with light, satellites, ships, dreams. Liam lay back in the grass. "Do you ever think about leaving, about going back to your planet?" Solara was quiet, then she smiled. "I don't want to go back to where I was feared." He turned to her. "Then where do you want to go?" She looked around at the quiet forest, the glowing dome, the little garden Liam planted with vegetables they still didn't know how to pronounce. "Nowhere," she said, "because I'm already home." Liam laughed. That was dramatic. "You taught me Earth humor too," she teased, but then her voice turned softer. "Thank you, Liam." "For what?" "For rewiring more than just my implants." He looked at her, confused. "You rewired my heart." Far away in a dark star system, others watched the message he had shared. Some saw it as weakness, but a few, just a few, felt something stir inside their own hearts. Something new, something dangerous to their old ways, something like hope.